What's going on, Helmet Gang? We're back with the 10th episode. We made it 10th episode of the Helmet Save Lives podcast here on YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, wherever you're listening. I'm so happy you're listening. I can't believe I made it 10 episodes. I mean, I can because this is something I've been trying to crank out, but I'm just so happy I made it. Today is a super, super special episode in honor of the 10th episode. I'll be bringing on my friend Shaun Oshman, somebody who I met several months ago when I first started my Instagram. He's been a big supporter of the movement for several months. Shaun is the founder, creator of a company called Helmet Flair. Now, not only has Helmet Flair created a just super unique, amazing, inspiring, cool, creative design to just make helmets look cooler, but Shaun's just, like I said, Shaun's been a super passionate biker and supporter of my movement, and he sent me his product back in the fall. And just if you're following the TikTok, you're following the Instagram, you guys have probably seen it by now. Anyway, Shaun is going to be coming in from the Bahamas, which is insane. I was able to get him on a Zoom call. So if you're watching on YouTube, that's why we got the audio only. If you're listening on here, of course, it'd be audio anyway. But anyway, enjoy this, and this is going to be awesome. I'll see you in about 15 minutes. I'll be back. So enjoy my talk with Shaun Oshman from Helmet Flair. All right, Helmet Gang, we are back. I am joined by the one and only Shaun Oshman, the self-proclaimed father of Flair, founder of Helmet Flair. Shaun, how are you doing today?
I'm awesome, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing incredible. Where you joining us from today? Where are you coming in from?
Well, we're at anchor down here in Lee Stocking Island in the Exumas on a boat. We decided to spend this pandemic time, or at least the tail end of the pandemic, working remotely. It's working out pretty well. Pretty pleased about it.
How about that? That's incredible. Just kind of want to jump in here and talk about the company. And so if you just want to give me a little background about yourself, starting out here, that'd be awesome.
Sure thing. Yep. Helmet Flair is an idea that got hatched from the brain, I don't know, a little over a decade ago. And it came from the fact that helmets have always been seen as being kind of dorky.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being a kid and, none of my friends really wore helmets because it's the kind of thing that if your parents forced you to wear it, you would, but nobody went out of their way to wear a helmet because
of course
it didn't sit well. Look stupid.
Yeah.
Long list of reasons why didn't wear helmets as kids. I know it's changed quite a bit now, but it got me thinking, what's the easiest way to get kids excited about wearing helmets and, attaching ridiculous things to them and being able to swap them out just seemed like a really good way to do that. So it's, you've got helmet laws and then you've got ways to attract helmet use. So it's kind of like carrot versus the stick.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Wow. That's incredible. So, again, just kind of moving forward here, where did the idea for the name Helmet Flair come from? How did that come about?
Well, the word Flair kind of came from Office Space because it's an awesome movie, and how many pieces of flair have you got?
That is an awesome movie.
Yeah. So it just got me thinking. It's like, how do you get lots of flair on your helmet? So then Helmet Flair just seemed to be the most logical name, and it kind of stuck. And got all the trademark stuff sorted, and it took about a year from starting to work through just all the nuances of the technology. So, we need over 300 prototypes of the product before we just figured out the nuances and figured out how to make it so that the magnets work well and they have enough pull strength, the type of magnet, the diameter, the type of adhesive. So, as because you've got a set, it's kind of a two-part system. You've got the magnet base that sticks onto the helmet, and then you can pop on and pop off any of the tops that you want. So there's 17 different SKUs, bunch of different shapes and lots of different colors. And the idea is that you and your friends can all get a bunch of different pairs, and then you can swap them around. And this way, if you wipe out, nice thing about this is that they're designed to shear off in the event of an accident, so it's not going to affect the function of the helmet. That was kind of the whole idea behind just doing all that engineering, because if you attach something permanently using, super glue or a really strong adhesive, it might negatively affect what the helmet was designed to do, which is to protect your dome.
I love it. That's so cool. I don't know. This whole thing is I mean, to have a pair myself and be wearing them, and then now to hear from the man himself. It's a pleasure, man. This is really cool. So yeah, kind of take me through. I guess I know you guys have. I have the red devil horns, I guess whatever you guys call them. But take me kind of through the how you guys came up with the different designs and kind of just that whole process there.
Totally, yeah. There was a lot of kind of iterations and experiments with different designs, and the first ever shape was the large devil horn shape.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, had another shape, which was the smaller devil horn, a little bit more practical, a little bit lower profile. We just wanted to make them all interchangeable, so we had to make it so that the bases, the nubbin, the magnet base, was of an appropriate size, so that no matter what, it'd be able to stick on any helmet. Because some of the modern helmets for cycling, there's so much venting on them that it's hard to design it so that there's enough surface area, because some of those ridges of material that would be kind of that foam and hard plastic protective material on the outside of the helmet, pretty narrow, right? So I wanted to make sure that no matter what kind of helmet you had, it was compatible. And that took a lot of just design tweaking to try to get it to that point. And I'd say most of the design process was revolving around that nubbin base. And then beyond that, it was just having fun with what kind of designs can go on top. So there's the small horns, which you've got your Diablo set, and
I love them.
Those come in red, they come in black, they come in white, gold, and purple and pink. We during the prototyping testing phase with all the 3D printing that we did, made tons of colors. I made orange, made blue, and silver, copper, and in the end, you got to pick some colors. Like you just can't have too many to choose from. It's just too much just to manage the productions, UPC codes. It's kind of a lot. All of which is new to me, to be honest, because I've never gotten into product photography before. It wasn't my background, so it's real exciting to just go down this path and learn a ton of stuff, and work with this designer that I work with, who is super smart and really helpful to help me understand how to design something for production, which has been real neat. So maybe that's why it's taken a year, because a lot of it is just my learning curve to figure out how it all works. So the small horns and large horns come in those 6 colors, and then you've got the kitty ears. Those come in purple and pink, and the unicorn horn is a gold. And then there's the rhino, which is a large black horn and a small black horn in a set. And then you've got the banana. The banana it looks like a banana goes through your head, or some people mount them on the top of their helmet. But it's kind of a take on the the Steve Martin skit from the 80s, where he's got an arrow going through his head, that kind of gig. But with a banana.
Yeah.
And the banana thing was kind of a joke to begin with. Somebody they were like, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if you had a banana going through your head?" And I'm like, "Nah, there's no way."
Yeah.
So I went to my designer. I was like, "Hey, do you think you could just make a banana real quick? Like, don't spend a lot of time. Just whip me out a banana, like the top third of a banana and the bottom third of a banana, and just send it to me. And I'm going to 3D print it, and I'm going to see how it looks." So he did.
I love it.
And I went, I 3D printed it, and it's like anybody who I show it to, they're like, "Yeah, that's mine. I need that.
It's so dope.
The banana is
so
necessary."
Yeah. That's awesome.
So that was a fun project. And of course, as an afterthought, it ended up being the most complicated thing to design for manufacturing. Like, I can't even tell you, just like the number of changes, iterations, and all this stuff that we had to go through to make that stinking banana. And of course, it was the afterthought design.
Yeah.
And the unicorn started off huge, man. Oh my God, it was so tall. It looked like a narwhal horn. So, which was, like, that's fine, but the problem is there's a practicality side of this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
we took them and we field tested them last season up in Steamboat Springs going skiing, and the stoke level was very high. First of all, everywhere we went, everybody was like, "Oh my God, what is that thing?
Yeah.
And how do we get one?" So that was really fun testing. But the thing was just so huge that, if somebody wanted to put down the bar on the chairlift, you might knock off your horn. And that's a problem, because then it goes down in the snow. You got to go dig around and find it.
Oh man.
So, we had to, we dropped the height by a good inch and a half by the time all was said and done. So, and tried lots of different colors, but of course, in the end, the gold unicorn horn is the way to go. And we had to play around with lots of different materials to get that kind of metallic, glittery stuff in suspension inside the resin of the plastic. So, that was some color chip testing along the way. So,
awesome.
It's been interesting, and I'm pretty stoked with how they all turned out. And everybody who's gotten them has been pretty impressed with the quality.
Myself included.
God, I'll tell you,
they're great.
I can't even tell you, Ethan. Like, testing adhesives is like it was months of testing adhesives. I can't even tell you. Like, and 3M, they were awesome. They sent me tons of samples, and they were super cool and really patient with me. And I'm like, so this doesn't work really well on this kind of plastic, and I don't know why, and da da da. And finally ended up with that adhesive that we got, which I saw to be the biggest potential for failure in the entire design. Is if that adhesive sucks. Yeah. Because if that adhesive sucks, it's just going to pull right off the helmet. And
it's going to fall
frustrated. Off. So totally. So it's got to be strong enough to stick on there, and it has to be stronger than the magnet. And that magnet is pretty darn strong. So you don't want something too crazy. But if you want to take it off, you have to be able to take it off. So the idea is that, I don't know about you, but people who do outdoor stuff do a lot of different outdoor stuff. They'll do, I've got my ski helmet. I have my bicycle helmet.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I have like 3 or 4 bicycle helmets.
Yeah.
And then if you've got a motorcycle, you got a motorcycle helmet. It's like, it's crazy the number of helmets when you do an inventory, because every activity's got a different kind of helmet.
Their own one. Yeah.
It's like, and if the fact is, if you're wearing a helmet and you're outside, you're doing something cool.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Oh, 100%. All the way. Oh, wow. That is so cool. So I guess kind of going from there, like, where do you see Helmet Flair going? Like, obviously your goal is to kind of like take this all the way, but like, what's the dream behind this company? What do you see?
Well, with the patent application, which has been submitted for this product, there's a few different kind of features that are included in that application. And among them would be having the horns light up, right?
Oh, wow.
In the first iteration, that's going to be the horn itself it's going to have a self-contained battery and the LED. Yeah. And the way that it turns on is that you pop the horn onto the magnet, and it's a magnet
that is so cool.
Switch.
That is so dope. That is
right?
So cool.
So, yeah, I think it's going to be pretty awesome. And then the charging station would be how you would charge your horns, right?
No
so you
way.
would just pop your horns off your helmet, put them on your little USB charging station, charge them up. They'll last for 2-3 hours, no problem, for your commuting or whatever you got to do. And then that's kind of part of the habit. But what I want to do with that is make it so that along with those light up horns, you also have a headlight and a tail light, because the unique part of the Helmet Flair deal is the way that this stuff attaches onto the helmet.
Yeah.
And there has yet to be a unified system to attach stuff to helmets. That's good. That doesn't detract from the safety of the helmet, but gives you the option to put cool stuff on it, but also practical stuff. So having a headlight, same idea. Your headlight goes onto the front, onto the magnet base. To charge it, you just pop it off, put it on the charging station. When you want to use it, you just pop it right back on the helmet. You could pop it between helmets. So if you want to use a different helmet for a night ride than you normally use, if you just got those magnets on everything, you just take them off. And then the other thing is that, let's say you go to the store, you have your light on your helmet. I don't know about you, but I can't even tell you the number of lights that have been stolen off my handlebars.
Oh, yeah.
So that is a problem.
It
But if
is.
you could just have your headlight on your helmet and then pop it off and put it in your pocket and go inside, now you don't have to worry about somebody stealing your light, right? So that's an advantage. And beyond that, from a safety perspective, the higher up the light is when you're cycling, the safer you are, because
The more
now
likely, yeah.
you're eye level with the motorist. Whereas, when you take a light and you mount it just on your handlebars, it's lower than where those motorists are looking.
Yeah.
And in addition, it's only going to point forward where the bike is going directionally. Whereas when you've got a light on your helmet that's a headlamp light, you could actually flash it at drivers. You could flash it just to be like, hey, I'm here. You don't want to blind them, but you do want to give them a little flash just to give them heads up. So, I think the higher up you can get all the lights on a bike situation, the more safe it's going to be. Then you have the option to even have side lights. So that's the next iteration of design. And then beyond that would be to have a central battery pack on the helmet, and then wiring run underneath that plastic shell of the helmet to those base nubbins that are mounted in, strategic locations on the helmet. So this way there's not batteries inside each one of the attached tops, right? So your horns don't need batteries anymore. All they need is a little light inside, and they're getting power from the battery pack, which is part of the helmet as a whole. So this way you discharge the helmet, and then you can pop on and pop off whatever you want. And then beyond that, there's other applications in that patent, which would be stuff like, Bluetooth speakers. If you want to just be a rolling disco, you can do that. It's fine. Being able to do stuff like a GoPro mount, which again has an advantage safety-wise because it would shear off in the event of an accident. It's a heavier item, but all of the Helmet Flair nubbins are being produced so that the orientation of the magnet is all north facing, north up. So this way it's future proofing it so that if anything needs to stick onto it and needs stronger adhesion, then it's just a south down. So now you have magnet on magnet adhesion, which would double the strength, the pull strength of it. So you could have heavier stuff on your helmet and not worry about it falling off. So that's the long-term plan. But, for now we're going to play with some cool stuff that just looks neat and move more into the light up, maybe more practical application stuff over the next year or so.
All right. That is my talk with Shaun. Actually, unfortunately, I didn't get to kind of finish up and give a little send off there because Shaun actually lost connection. As you got to hear, and as he said, he was anchored on an island in the Bahamas. So super grateful he was able to even join me. Shaun, if you're listening, thank you. It was incredible talking to you. You're amazing, man. You really inspire me. I'll be supporting your company for years in the future. I can't wait to see where this goes. If you guys have not checked out Helmet Flair yet, I honestly don't know why you wouldn't at this point. HelmetFlair.com. Also, their Instagram is @HelmetFlair. They're on TikTok too. They're on Facebook. Hit them up anywhere. Helmet Flair is amazing. As he talked about, they make so many cool things. They got so many cool things coming up. So you're gonna want to jump on before it was hip, before it was popular. So anyway, thanks again, Shaun. Thanks again, you, for listening. Appreciate all the love and support. If you have not checked out my YouTube, I've been cranking out some vlogs there. Also, obviously, this is the 10th episode of the podcast. So if you're listening at this point, thank you. Love you guys. The support is literally unreal. We're continuing to grow every day. Almost at 4K on TikTok. The Instagram is also cranking every day too. So anyway, appreciate the love and support. Always wear a helmet. Helmets save lives.